Secretary of Defense Ash Carter demonstrated that interest in constructive engagement when he expressed U.S. concern over land reclamation in the South China Sea, most notably China's possession of more than 2,000 acres in just 18 months. At Angkor Sentinel, Cambodian soldiers receive a lot of medical training. Then there's the CPX, Command Post Exercise, running operations from behind the curtain. But you also hear a lot of talk about the STIX. STX is another acronym, and it stands for Situational Training Exercise. Sergeant Mike DeLulo is one of the instructors.
All of you guys, whoa!
Here in the Chitwan district, certain medical attention is hard to come by. That's why Nepalese people from communities all over the region have traveled to this site of Operation Pacific Angel. Commissary customers in the Pacific see a decrease in products like juices, yogurts, or creams, but there's a plan for that. The most popular station among the children here seems to be the optometry station. It's here that airmen hand out these sunglasses, and you can see why that puts smiles on people's faces. Reporting from Chitwan District of Nepal, I'm Staff Sergeant MikeLahrman. Thanks for joining us. I'm Staff Sergeant MikeLahrman. Exercise Conquest 15 is underway in Mongolia. Conquest is an annual multinational exercise hosted by Mongolian Armed Forces and co-sponsored by U.S. Army Pacific and U.S. Marine Corps Pacific. During the 13th iteration of the event, nearly 1,200 military forces from over 20 nations will participate in a field training exercise focused on peacekeeping operations, survival training, and competitive events. Although Conquest is a multinational training exercise, it also provides opportunities to give back to some of Mongolia's community. U.S. Marine Captain Kyle McCarley explains the construction and renovation project U.S. soldiers and Marines are accomplishing at the 55th Special School. The 15th Marine Expeditionary Unit has released the name of the Marine killed in Sunday's MV-22 landing mishap at Marine Corps Training Area Bellows. 24-year-old Lance Corporal Joshua Barron of Spokane, Washington, was a crew chief assigned to Marine Medium Tilt Rotor Squadron 161 at Marine Corps Air Station Miramar in California. Captain Tyler Akers and his crew came to the Philippines to build classrooms, but then
we got to talking and we said, you know, they don't have a basketball hoop here.
So the wheels started to turn. Some rebar, some plywood.
Well, that turned into everybody wanted to throw in money and get them a regulation hoop, which we did. So that led to what you see here.
A 2-hoop basketball court.
This is excess concrete.
At no cost.
These are donated utility poles.
To the taxpayers.
We've got the backboards are also donated as well. And then we threw in for the hoops and nets.
Which may put these airmen and Philippine Seabees a bit above the rim.
We are not only building this school, we are also building the future, the education of the future for the teens, for the children of the San Rafael.
Air Force Staff Sergeant MikeLahrman, San Rafael, Palawan. Just outside Kabul, workers build the Afghan National Defense University. Over 1,000 Afghan men, and Rokia, the only female on site.
It's hard, but I love it. It's good for me.
She's been the electrical quality assurance engineer since May, but getting here has been her dream since she was 8.
After the Taliban regime, fortunately, I could get the chance to go to university, and I chose the electrical engineering because I knew that for improvement of a country, electrical system is very important.
And living that dream while building the home of her country's future leaders makes her even more proud.
Education and military are very important to improvement a country. And so I think if we had educated, trained military, female and male, we will have a brighter future.
Air Force Staff Sergeant MikeLahrman, Kabul, Afghanistan. The Salang Corridor. From northern Afghanistan, it's the road to Kabul.
Most of the fuel, materials, steel, building materials, and food going between the north and the south has to go through this tunnel.
Starting in late 2012, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers has overseen the Salang Tunnel's restoration by an Afghan construction firm. They've paved the 1.6 miles of uneven road and built a new power plant to replace the original.
To provide reliable energy for both the support base here as well as for the enhanced ventilation in the tunnel, lighting, and communication system.
With that, an unstable Afghan economy begins to see the light at the end of a much safer tunnel. Air Force Staff Sergeant MikeLahrman, the Salang Corridor, Afghanistan. Staff Sergeant Ulysses Middlestat is known for being a great asset to the 116th Cavalry Brigade, though he's not all that fond of talking about himself.
They had to throw out that Soldier of the Year deal, didn't they?
In 2011, Mittelstadt won Soldier of the Year at the state level in Idaho. At Encore Sentinel 2014, he looks like he'd be a strong candidate again. But he's just doing his job. As technical food advisor, he ensures the Cambodian staffed kitchen meets proper standards, watching over 3 meals a day for over 200 American and Cambodian soldiers.
Usually here by 04 in the morning and usually wrapping at about 2200.
With those hours, does he even get any sleep?
Very little.
Mittelstadt says the job has provided an enjoyable learning experience.
Culturally, it has been great to learn how they operate different than us, per se, and how to just interact with them in a way that's acceptable the entire time, just to get the mission accomplished.
He's even learning new cooking methods.
Beef fried rice is what he's making. One of the things they do is they cook off woks. So a big pan and everything they cook takes place in there.
Meanwhile, the Cambodian cooks have picked up new recipes.
It's been really fun to watch them cook some American-style meals, such as omelets and eggs and pancakes. But everything else is done inside those woks, even the bacon, for example.
Amidst the multicultural cooking, Sergeant Mittelstadt's focus is food safety, and seeing the progress has been rewarding.
Getting to know the people, hopefully doing something that will make a difference for them in the future, to see their level of just safety, for example, and food handling process. To see that go to a whole different level than what they're used to in this country or their standards.
One of the focuses of Keen Sword 15 is search and rescue. In this case, HH-60 helicopter crews are alerted to the site of a sunken cargo ship off the coast of Komatsu. American and Japanese crews, complete with pararescue jumpers, must work together to rescue any surviving passengers. Japanese air rescue sets out first to locate the site of the disaster, calling on American support due to the number of survivors in the water.
This type of response is something that we would do unilaterally as the U.S. only to potentially a U.S. vessel, but it's the first time that we've really talked about or tried to execute any kind of bilateral U.S. and Japanese civil search and rescue.
So in circumstances like we see this scenario,
it just makes sense to be able to be flexible enough to use whatever asset is in the best position to make the best rescue.
How many are we picking up?
After quick coordination, U.S. search and rescue arrives on location to rescue the 2 remaining survivors. Japanese air rescue has collected 3, and all this communication made possible by an additional resource.
We had a fixed-wing aircraft overhead who is acting as the rescue mission commander, and that's a pretty key coordination piece, so that you've got somebody who has a detached view of everything that's going on below him and can communicate to everybody who's involved to help keep people apart, keep people from running into each other.
Between the American and Japanese crews, all 5 surviving passengers of the sunken cargo ship were rescued and were able to call this mission successful. Reporting from Komatsu Air Base, Japan, I'm Staff Sergeant MikeLahrman. That does it for this newscast. I'm Staff Sergeant MikeLahrman, and from all of us here at AFN Pacific, thanks for watching.